Today, we're racing in the first 3 races of the Aus-NZ Combined British Touring Car Championship. This is Triple Crown Racing, let's get into it. Hello everybody and welcome along to the Aus-NZ Combined British Touring Car Championship, specifically the Tier 2 Championship. Now I know if you're an Aus-NZ member, this championship happened ages ago, but I'm showcasing it to you anyway, and here we are. It's the first 3 races of the season which are taking place on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, and we are driving the Renault Megane TCR car. It's the number 87 car, it's the Monster Energy car. And right now, we're trying to get our way around Brands Hatch Indy, and it's very rainy, and it's not particularly nice to drive. I've never been particularly good in the rain, and I'm kind of showing that here. So, we're coming into the final couple of corners, and we're losing the rear end of the car a bit. It's a little bit understeery, a little bit oversteery, not particularly nice to drive in, but we have made it around a lap, and we'll be coming across the line to see what this is in practice and sort of how we'll compare to the other drivers. So we come across the line with a 52.5, which was good enough for 3rd at the time. However, it didn't stand, and we ended the session in 7th place with the Right Sower on top of the session, followed by Highlander, Night Pegasus, Masuzo, Whopper, Blue Falcon, myself, Emu, and Nuclear Chocolate rounded off the field in practice. So we'll be moving on to qualifying. So here we are about to start a flying lap in qualifying, and of course it's in the dry with a much more aggressive setup designed just to go quickly, and as you can see there, it's sliding down the hill in turn 1, and we are ready to go, and we're ready to set a flying lap. And so far it's looking pretty good. It's been pretty clean so far, and well, it's still relatively clean. We do have the last section of the track to navigate, and the car seems to be working with us. It seems to be working how we want it to. And coming into the final couple of corners now, we are going quicker than we did on our invalidated lap, and which is a good sign. We are currently, I think that's 8/10 up on our fastest time so far, and we're about to cross the line. We'll see what this is in a moment's time. It's a 48.4, which was good enough for 1st at the time. However, with 2 minutes left in the session, we dropped down to 5th place, and I would really like pole position because I know we have a fast car, and as you can see, we've dropped down again to 6th. So we're going for it again with only 2 minutes left in the session, and so far it's looking pretty good. Our times, well, they're almost looking quicker, and the car is still working pretty well. It's actually more up to temperature now, so we can be a little bit more competitive. Attacking the curbs because we can afford to do so in this car. It's front-wheel drive, relatively easy to control, and it's got a good setup on as well. Sliding through the last couple of corners, thankfully Whopper jumps out of the way in the Opel Astra, and we'll see what this lap is in a moment's time. We're powering out of the final corner on the run towards the start-finish line, and we'll see what this time is in a second. We come across the line with a 48.079, which is good enough for 2nd. However, there's still time to set another lap, and it looks like we're going to go for it. We've taken the first corner much better than we have on our previous laps, and we are already quicker going into the hairpin bend, which is turn 2 around here. And we're 3/10 up on that last lap, which is looking pretty good, and we're not that far off pole position as well. So we could potentially achieve our very first league racing pole position here at Brands Hatch today. So coming through the final couple of corners, and we'll be on the run towards the start-finish line. Can we grab pole position for the first ever time in Aus-NZ? The start-finish line is right there. We come across the line with a 47.6, which is good enough for pole. We've done it. We've gone quickest here at Brands Hatch, and we'll be starting on the pole for the first race of the season, and I was really, really happy with that. We're starting on the pole, followed by Masuzo, Right Sower, Blue Falcon, Whopper, Highlander, Darkest Unicorn, Emu, Nuclear Chocolate, and Night Pegasus rounds off the field for the first race of the season. And I'm really excited to be starting on pole position. It's the first time I've ever done that in my more than 2-year league racing career. So let's see what we can do from the front row of the grid. So here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. It's rainy and it's a little bit drizzly, but it's time to go racing here in Aus-NZ Combined. The lights are coming on and we go green here at Brands Hatch. And it's a pretty dreadful start. There's a lot of wheel spin off the line, and it looks like Masuzo has taken full advantage of that, and he's going down the inside into turn 1. We'll see if he can hold it around the outside, but Masuzo looks like he's got it done on the first lap, so it's not the start we wanted. But there's still plenty of time left in the race, and we still have time to get by, and we're trying it around the outside in turn 2, but the room just isn't there, and the grip's not there either. And it looks like Masuzo will hold on to it for the time being. However, we are trying to chase down Masuzo, but we've run off the track, and that's going to cost us time. We might even end up with a slowdown penalty for that. And now we're under pressure from, I believe that's Blue Falcon behind us. However, we're going to hold on to second place at the end of the first lap, and we'll be chasing down Masuzo. However, it certainly isn't the start that we wanted, and we were a little bit distracted because our controller went off, which meant our comms went off as well. And well, we've come across the line to finish a pretty hectic lap 1. It's the start of lap 2, and we are still chasing down the leading car of Masuzo. And it's going even worse for us. We've run off the track, and Blue Falcon's going to take full advantage to go down the inside into turn 2. And we'll see if we can hold it around the outside. But again, the grip just isn't there on the outside of turn 2. And we're showing that, and we've lost a couple of positions already on only lap 2. And it looks like we're due to lose some more as well, because we're off the track again. And Highlander, he had the opportunity to exploit that there, but he was a little bit too far back. And it looks like we'll hold on to third, and we're off the track again. This is a horrible start. This is not the start we wanted. Blue Falcons run off the road in front of us, so it looks like we might get a position back. However, now we're under pressure from Highlander, and I think he's actually on our inside as well. We've got the green arrows of death, which means he might still be there, but it looks like we're in the clear. We'll hold on to second position for the time being. And actually, yeah, Highlander's right on our inside in the Mercedes, and we're trying to hold it around the outside. In turn 1, and we make contact, and it looks like Highlander will try and go up the inside into turn 2. Let's see if we can hold it around the outside. We're taking a little bit of a tighter line, which has a bit more grip, but Highlander gets the move done in turn 2, and it looks like Whopper's going to try and make the move as well, but it's not there, and we actually come together, and we go off the track for a bit there. Luckily, we're still in a straight line, and we've made it back to the black stuff, but unfortunately, we're down quite a few positions at the start of the race, and it looks like other people are struggling with the conditions as well. We go up the inside of Whopper into the final corner. Whopper does the switchback, and it looks like he'll try and go back through, and we actually saw Highlander go off the road in front of us as well. However, when we try to go down the inside of Whopper, he managed to regain the grip and do the switchback and go up into third place, and we tried for a move around the outside of Whopper, but he defends, and we make contact, and we end up in the wall on the start finish straight. Luckily, we get it back on the road, and we almost lose another place as well, but somebody went off the road in front of us as soon as they passed us, and then we're off the road again, and we're losing more and more places. That was Darkest Unicorn going through that time by, and we're down to 5th position, and this was when we went from the front row of the grid pole position, and I was very, very disappointed. I felt like I'd definitely thrown away an opportunity, and we're off the road again, and we're losing even more places, and then we make contact with somebody behind us. We fell to 6th, but now we are back in the mix on lap 6. We are getting by Emu, and now we'll be chasing down Right Sower at the start of lap 7. However, it looks like Right Sower is going to put up a little bit of a fight, and we're going to have to go around the outside into turn 1. Right Sower is still there on the inside, and it gets a little bit hairy in turn 1. And that was Falcon going off the road in turn 1. We're going to try and go down the inside of Right Sower into the hairpin. We have the inside line, and we make it stick. Now we're trying to, a few laps later, we're trying to get past Right Sower again onto lap 10, and we are down the inside in turn 1, and it looks like we'll make it stick for the time being. However, Right Sower tries the switchback and will try and go down the inside into turn 2. Can he hold it? It looks like he might just. However, we're still relatively tight, and it looks like we'll just hold on to 5th place for the time being. Right Soa yields, and we're back into 5th position. Now fast forward to lap 11, and we're off the road, and this has given Right Soa the opportunity to go back through, and there's a couple of other cars there as well who might try and exploit that. We cover off the inside line and we keep the position. Right Soa slow out of the final corner, and Right Soa and I come together. However, we're still kept in a straight line. We're side by side at the moment, and we go back up into 5th place. We get the move done on Right Soa. However, he still looks like he's going to try and drag around the outside. Meanwhile, there's another car coming into the mix as well, and Right Soa looked like he got tangled up with him as well. I think that might be Emu behind Right Soa. Right Soa goes through as we go off the road. And it was actually Night Pegasus behind us. Not Emu. Apologies to Emu. But Right Soa goes back through on lap 12, at the beginning of lap 12, and we're going to try and get by Right Soa again. Right Soa is a little bit wide, and we seize the opportunity. We look to the inside, and we might get the move done. We're still side by side going into the final corner. Who will yield first? It looks like it's Right Soa who yields, and we're up into 5th place again. Now fast forward to lap 13, we seem to be making a lot of mistakes in turn 1, and Right Soa, he definitely takes full advantage of that, up into 5th place. And Falcon's taking the opportunity as well, and we come together, and I end up a little bit off the road, down to 7th place. However, Right Soa and Falcon come together. Falcon pushes Right Soa wide, and we go down the inside of Right Soa, and we'll try and move on Falcon as well. Late on the brakes. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Falcon and I come together, and we are up into 5th place, and Falcon's trying to hold it, but we make it stick. Back up into 5th place on lap 14, but we almost run off the road, and Falcon goes back through. Now, fast forward to lap 15, Falcon runs off the road in turn 1, and we take full advantage of that, and we are up into 5th place, and that is where we stay until the end of race 1. We're going to come round the final corner to finish what would have been a respectable 5th place if we hadn't started on the pole position. And while I'm a little bit disappointed that we lost all those positions, I'm still proud of my pole position. So here are the final results from race 1. Masuzo took the race victory, followed by Darkest Unicorn, Whopper, Highlander, myself, Blue Falcon, Night Pegasus, Right Soa, and Emu, and Nuclear Chocolate rounds off the field for the first race here at Brands Hatch. And now we're going to go racing again for the 2nd time today. We are about to go racing in race 2. We're starting for 5th. It's where we started last time. Balance of performance has been added, and we go green for the 2nd race here at Brands Hatch. It's been a much better start than last time, and we drag by Whopper up into 4th position. Meanwhile, it looks like Darkest Unicorn and Highlander are going at it, and it's costing them time, which is, well, we try and have a look down the inside of Highlander, but he covers off the line. And fast forward to lap 2, Darkest Unicorn try to pass for the lead. Highlander's in the mix, but he gets off the back of Darkest Unicorn. We run into the back of him, and a few cars go through Blue Falcon, and I think that might have been Emu as well who went through. So Highlander getting loose cost us a few positions, and we are in 6th place on lap 2. However, we use the bumper of Highlander a little bit. He gets pushed a little bit wide, and we're side by side with him at the moment. We're battling for 5th place here on lap 2. Let's see who yields first. Highlander, he's trying to hold the position, and there he goes, Blue Falcon. He spins in front of us, and well, that means that we are going to try and go up into 5th place. It's me versus Blue Falcon, and we'll see if we can beat him to turn 1 and get up into 5th position, and it looks like we will. Falcon's going to have to yield unless he can hold it on the inside, which he can't, and unfortunately nothing really happened for the rest of the race, and we're going to come around the final corner to finish 5th again, which means we'll start 5th again in the next race and have 5th place BOP again. So it seems to be a weekend of 5th places for me, across the line in 5th, pretty respectable. Started 5th, finished 5th, and we'll see the full results in a moment. Highlander took the victory, followed by Masuzo, Right Soa, Darkest Unicorn, myself, Emu, Whopper, Blue Falcon, Night Pegasus, and Nuclear Chocolate rounds off the 2nd race at Brands Hatch. And now we're going to start race 3. So we're lining up with the grid, starting 5th place for the final race of the night. And we're about to go racing here one last time at Brands Hatch, and we go green. Let's see what kind of a start we get. we've got Darkest Unicorn on our row of the grid for company, and it looks like we might be able to get him around the outside into turn 1. However, he's holding it on the inside, and it looks like he'll hold on to the position. Let's see if we can do the switch back and go down the inside in turn 2, and so far, it's looking pretty good. We're later on the brakes than Darkest Unicorn, and there's just room to get through. We're up into 4th place at the beginning of the first lap. Meanwhile, Brightsour and Highlander are going blow for blow coming into the final sector, and we have the podium right in front of us, and we're going to try and fight for it. Brightsour pulls out on Highlander, and he goes through into the second to last corner, and we're going to try maybe make up some places, but Highlander goes into the back of Brightsour, and there's nowhere for me to go. I go into the back of Highlander and punt him off the track by accident. I had nowhere to go, but regardless, we're up into 3rd position, and unfortunately nothing else really happened in the race. I was just trying to catch up to the leading 2, so we're going to finish the final race of the night in a respectable 3rd position. It's across the line, and that's it for the racing action here at Brands Hatch. And you'll see the full results in a minute. Masuzo took the victory, followed by Brightsour, myself, Darkest Unicorn, Highlander, Emu, Nuclear Chocolate, Night Pegasus, Whopper, and Blue Falcon rounded off the field. And here are the point standings without fastest laps taken into account. Masuzo leads the championship after the first 3 races, and we are currently down in 5th. So while we made a few mistakes tonight, we have shown some pace, and maybe we can recover in the coming rounds. So we're looking to iron out those mistakes and come back stronger in the next few races. So that's it here from Brands Hatch in the Aus-NZ Combined British Touring Car Championship. I hope you've enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.